Yeah, about 15 years ago, Mark Morial, who was then the mayor, gave me honorary citizenship in New Orleans. And I have to say, I fell in love with the city. I was a law student in Mississippi, went to New Orleans, and what can I say? New Orleans is magical. And anybody who spent any time there knows what a wonderful place it is. But having said that, what keeps me going back to New Orleans now is a sense that the country has forgotten one of the great cities of our time, and we are witnessing a city that's actually dying on the vine, and that's a profound tragedy. New Orleans is really a metaphor for the failure of government at every level, and what we saw happening in the aftermath of Katrina is something I think no one will forget. And because of that, I think a lot of us are committed to making New Orleans once again a place that will be a beacon, that will attract people back to the city and will really resurrect, I think, our commitment to having government work. By the way, I love those Mardi Gras meetings. Mardi Gras meetings are the best. So, you'll never forget New Orleans. I think when we heard that James was running, one of the things that really inspired me is the fact that this is a young guy. He was only in his early 30s. He's a lawyer, I think graduated from Loyola, but also worked in the fair housing movement. Many of us were involved in opening the fair housing office in New Orleans, and that was about 10, 15 years ago or so. But I know, James, you've also been working in the fair housing movement for a long time, including directing the Mississippi office. And when New Orleans opened up, you were handling 2 jobs at one time, as well as going to law school. People who know you have seen you as a bright star. They think you are just an extraordinary lawyer and advocate, someone who brings a common touch, but also the substance, and who understands the politics to make the city work. And one of the reasons that people are supporting you for mayor is because they think you can win and that you can make a difference. What's happening now is that there is no incumbent running next year. Nagin is term limited. The people who are now going to be candidates for the city are people who've been involved in city government in and around the city of New Orleans for a long time. But none of them have really distinguished themselves in ways that would make people outside of the city want to support their candidacy. James has done that. And so my hope is that when people hear his story, hear him talk about what he intends to do for the city, recognizes that he's got the smarts, the contacts, the ability to pull something together that will work, we can get behind him, and it really will make a difference. So with no further ado, let me say that it's my pleasure to introduce James Perry, the next mayor.